Hey everyone, welcome to another book review. My name's Magda, and this account is all about the books I read and what I think of them. Last night I finished Luna's story Finding Love by Janice Grief. This is book 2 in the Aalborg Love Story series. They are all standalones, but it definitely looks like previous characters will keep appearing throughout the series, and honestly, I absolutely adored this one. I loved this book. And going into it, I was a little nervous because I adored Ava's story so much that I thought maybe my expectations were a little bit too high, but this book completely lived up to them. One thing that stood out to me immediately was how different Luna feels as a main character. She is more mature, more grounded, and already sort of established in her career. She has a strong sense of who she is, and that gave a story a really refreshing depth. I also found Adam incredibly refreshing as a love interest. Yes, he is younger than Luna, which already creates an interesting dynamic, but what really stood out to me was how emotionally open he and fun he is. Even though he's been hurt before and he does carry his own baggage, he still stays open to love. He genuinely tries to do right by Luna, especially while balancing fatherhood and co-parenting. And honestly, one of my favorite parts of this book was the family dynamic. I really appreciated how Adam and his ex handled co-parenting. They respectful toward each other, focused on their daughter's well-being, and don't turn the child into part of the conflict. I always love seeing healthy breakups and positive co-parenting represented in romance because it feels realistic and emotionally mature. Even though Adam's and Camilla's, his ex-wife, relationship did not end on a positive note, they still managed to sort of like work through this and still managed to put their daughter's well-being and happiness at heart and work through that and through their differences just to stay healthy and well co-parenting together despite their differences and despite what happened between them. That emotional maturity honestly carries through the entire relationship. Both characters are very aware of their past trauma and actively want to grow, heal, and do better. And that made the romance feel incredibly genuine. Even though they had few hiccups here and there, it still always came back to this emotional maturity, wanting to talk about things and wanting to resolve the differences and whatever other like hiccups they may or may not have. I also really enjoyed the Tinder dating elements at the beginning of the book. It felt realistic but also empowering, especially seeing Luna openly communicating her needs, setting boundaries, and advocating for herself. You honestly don't see that portrayed clearly enough sometimes. Another highlight for me was the connection between Ava's story and Luna's. I genuinely didn't expect it, and it ended up being such a satisfying link between the two books. It was really clever, and I enjoyed that. It took me by surprise, to be honest with you. I was thinking, like, okay, is that ever gonna happen? Is it not? And then it happened, and it happened in such a clever way. So well done, Janice, for that. Overall, this is another one of Janice Grief's stories that feel like a very warm hug. It left me feeling comforted, happy, and honestly, just wanting more. And finally, Janice, I know you are currently recovering from a surgery, and I really hope everything went well. I'm wishing you a very speedy recovery and hoping you feel better soon. Thank you for joining me for this review, and I hope that you give a try and read this book because it really is adorable and I really loved it. It's another 5 stars from me. Thanks for joining me.